Hello guys, welcome to Global Happenings. Today we have a trending news here for you. And the headline of the news read 10 years jail term for generator importers, Senate says, as Igbos declare that it is a deliberate attempt towards crippling them. All right, but before we continue with details of the news and further analysis, if you've not subscribed to our channel, just hit the red subscribe button. And also, if you have not, click on the bell notification button, do same so that you can get immediate notification anytime we publish our videos. All right, let's look at the news in detail. A bill proposing 10 years jail term for generator importers and sellers in Nigeria has passed the first reading in the Senate. The bill, christened a bill for an act to prohibit the importations through use of generators, set to curb the menace of environmental pollution and to facilitate the development of power sector, was sponsored by Senator NDIGBO of Niger State. According to the bill, which passed first reading at plenary, any person who imports generator set or knowingly sells generating set shall be guilty of an offense and be liable on conviction to be sentenced to imprisonment for a term not less than 10 years. Provided that this subsection shall not apply to the importation or sales of any generating set to be used for essential services. The ban, however, excluded essential services and further added that the ban or prohibition of generating sets should not include generating sets used for essential services, which include medical purposes, that's for hospital and nursing homes and healthcare facilities, airport, railway stations, elevators, escalators, research institution, and such facilities that require 24 hours electric power supply. Approval for exclusion shall be obtained from the minister in charge of power, who shall brief the Federal Executive Council quarterly on approval granted. The bill further seeks that Nigerians should immediately stop the use of generating set in order to curb the menace of environmental pollution, which lead to potential health hazard it poses to the whole nation. All persons are hereby directed to stop the use of electricity generating set which runs on diesel, petrol, kerosene of all capacity with immediate effect in the country, it says. Explaining the meaning of generating set, the bill said a machine that is used to producing electricity. The bill sets to ban the importation and use of generating set in the country and to curb the menace of environmental pollution, which leads to potential health hazard it poses to the whole nation. All right, but there had been a lot of reactions by Nigerians, mostly the Igbos, because they are the people who are overly involved in the businesses of importation. Don't forget that I will say that the plane of business, it's really in their hand. They are more involved in anything called business, and importation and exportation has been their own area of jurisdiction. They do a lot of business in respect to this. So most people believe that this is a deliberate attempt towards crippling the businesses of the Igbos. Now, going to the popular social media platform Twitter, most Nigerians have gone there to vent their anger. Today, Femi Kayode had lent his voice to the ongoing saga, saying that the person who introduced such a bill deserves to be tied and thrown into the darkest part of the Atlantic Ocean. Since then, the number of Nigerians speaking up in the issue has witnessed a significant rise in numbers. Below are carefully selected comments from angry Nigerians. We're going to read some of these things. This one says here, it's a social media bill, hate speech, Boko Boys rehabilitation bill, protest ban bill, generating ban bill, all from the north. And that is true. All of them are from the north. Dear Northerners, talk to your sad senators. Another one here states, stop misleading information on the ban of generating bill. Is for banning the importation of generators. The bill is not to ban generator use in the country. I think this is a Northerner talking his gibberish, because for me, he's talking his gibberish. And another one here says, if Nigeria is really making progress like our corrupt leaders championing it with mouth, the senators should be talking about renewable energy / solar energy, an alternative source of energy to electricity, instead of championing a bill to ban generator. You pass on a bill to ban generator in a country where a full daylight is impossible. Wow, Nigeria is going down. You can hear some reactions from Nigeria. Most people believe that Nigeria is going down. Another person here said the same senators that rejected made in Nigeria cars want to pass a bill to ban the importation and use of generating set in the country. Wow, what a country. So many reactions from Nigerians, and it is really, really disheartening to hear these guys talk this way. Another one here said it's good to ban the use of generator if only they would encourage adequate power supply as in advanced claims. I think Igbos God stop this tribal sentiment. How does banning of generator be aimed at Igbo? It's against every Nigeria. Well, the reason why the Igbos are overly interested and are talking in this regard is the fact that they are the ones involved in such business of importation of generating set. We know that the Igbos are more involved in businesses. For you to take this drastic step, to stop generating set is absolutely maddening. Now let's look at this precisely and weigh it from the point of view of the senator and from the point of view of Nigerians. The first thing that we want to look at is power supply in the country. As I'm talking to you where I'm staying, for a whole day now, there had been no light. I've been running on gen since yesterday because I do a lot of business that requires gen, requires electricity. Now, if you ban generator, one of the key cardinal things that will happen is the collapse of the system already. Let's be real to ourselves. Nigeria, economically, we are already gone. We've already had the case of, reduction in the price of oil barrels, now about $30. And I think Nigeria is even considering devaluing the naira, so that they can feature, they can compete very well. That will be coming up later, And apart from that, if internationally we are nowhere to be found, Nigerians here, the second thing is that if you are banning the generating set, you're going to affect economic activities. Yes, we have had some exemptions, but then I want to say that if you are demanding that before you, import any generating set, you need to get approval from the Minister of Power. Don't forget about the administrative bureaucracy. I'm talking about administrative bottleneck that is involved in this issue of approval. And guess what? Sentiments will come into play. Bribery will come into play. Before they can even move your request down to whoever they will move it to, it will take some time. I'm talking about the issue where they said that one of the exceptions is that we can only import generating set for hospital, for research centers, and all of that. But you know that is not the only people that needs help. The entirety of the country. Some people can't do business without electricity. That's the first instance. Now, if you are saying that there shouldn't be anything like importation of generating, say Nigeria should also stop because of the environmental consequences of it. In saying claims, we should also see how we can adopt, solar system. So it's not the issue of coming out to say we ban importation, but for you to ensure that, number one, you help cheapen the acquisition of the solar panel and also whatever that is required for solar energy to be used in the country. Without this, Nigeria is going to nosedive a great deal. The Igbos are crying because that is one of their major businesses. Though most people also, same in the social media, are of the opinion that the reason why we cannot secure any reasonable success in the area of power supply is because most of Nigerian politicians a lot of them have businesses that has to do with electricity. That's with importation of generators. So they're just imagining if we get this one right, it therefore means there won't be any form of business for us. Again, we're going to be kicked out of business. So whatever we can do to ensure that we frustrate every step taken towards making power constant, then we have to do. But before you can take this drastic step of frustrating Nigerians with the ban of generator importation, you must first of all make sure that at least in a whole day we are sure of not less than at least 20 hours of electricity. If you do this, I can assure you that it will make a good reason. But don't put the cart before the horse. Do you understand? You don't have to put the cart before the horse. I believe very well that this will be struck out because it doesn't make any sense to Nigerians. But the Igbos are more emphatic about it because they are into business, and this is a step towards frustrating them the more. They have suffered a lot of marginalization, and waking up to this kind of news is an indication that there is no plan of even making them enjoy their stay in the country called Nigeria, which is considered to be our own country. First thing first, get electricity first, fix. I'm talking about the organization that supply electricity. If they get electricity fixed in the country, all the issues of buying generating set, which end up producing so much fume, which affects the environment, will be ceased. But to say ban it when you have not done anything reasonable towards helping Nigerians out cannot stand. I say again, such bill cannot see the light of the day. That's